Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 4th grade concept of comparing fractions. This is standard 4.3D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 44 off the 2016 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we've got two students here. Sergio completes 2/3 of a project. Julius completes 4/9 of the same project. And then we've got their models shaded down here. We need to find which one completed more. So that's going to be helpful. We are looking for the one that is greater. And we've got some shadings down here. So we've got 2/3 and 4/9 drawn for us. So we need to compare the two. And we can visually kind of look to see which one would work. But let's go ahead and make some equivalent fractions as well, because when we are trying to figure out 2/3 and 4/9, it's going to be hard to compare those two with greater than or less than because they have different denominators. If they had the same numerators, we might have been able to compare them, but they have different numerators and denominators, which means we need to find common denominators. So we need to find our least common denominator, sometimes called the LCD, that just stands for least common denominator. And what we do is we list out the multiples. So let's list out the multiples of each denominator. And let's just say 3, 6, 9. And actually, I can stop right there because I don't even have to start listing out my 9s. So you're looking for the smallest number on both lists. But 3 actually goes into 9, so I'm not even going to need to change 9. So really what I'm going to do is I am going to keep my 2/3 up front, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to multiply it by something, and I want to get it into 9ths. Because if I get it into 9ths, I can compare it with 4/9, and I don't even have to change 4/9. Sometimes you have to change both fractions. So we're looking across here. Multiplication goes straight across. So 3 times something makes 9. This is where we need to know our multiplication facts. So 3 times 3 makes 9. Now, if the denominator is going to be 3, then my numerator is going to be 3. The reason we do this is because this is 3/3. 3/3 is the same as 1 whole. When you multiply anything by 1, it stays the same. 5 times 1 is 5. 10 times 1 is 10. 1,000,000 times 1 is 1,000,000. So when we're multiplying 2 over 3 by 3/3, that's really multiplying it by 1, which means it stays the same. It's going to look different. 2 times 3 is 6. But that's how equivalent fractions work. 2/3 is the same as 6/9. It just looks a little bit differently, cut into smaller pieces. So I'm going to take my 2/3, I'm going to replace it with what I changed it to. It's equivalent fraction of 6/9. So let's see if we can compare these two now. 6/9 and 4/9. See, now we have the same denominator. Now we can compare these two. So it looks like obviously our 6 is going to be greater than our 4. 6 pieces are bigger than 4, which means we can actually, since I know that this 2/3 is the same as my 6/9, we can actually now say that 2/3 is greater than 4/9 because we did the work. Now, we need to match these up here. So Sergio, I'm going to put a little S right there. Sergio was my 2/3. Julius, there's my J. So here's my answer right here, is my 4/9. So Sergio completed more. So it's going to either be F or H. We're not going to use G because Julius did not complete more, and as you can see, they're next to each other. This is actually less than, and this is, they're actually equal. The way they kind of shaded them in incorrectly here. So Sergio, this looks like 2/3. This is 4/9. That looks good. So I'm thinking that's it. Oh, look what H did. They just didn't shade it incorrectly. That's 1/3. That's 4/9. That's incorrect. So my answer here is F.